My journey into palliative care came from a quite personal experience that I had, which turned into quite a strategic approach of how to get to palliative care. I always knew when I was younger that I wanted to be a nurse, but when I was 15 years old, my grandfather died, and he died at home in the UK with district nurses around him, and it was a most amazing experience. One of the things that I do remember about that experience is the input or the impact that the nursing team had on both my grandfather and the family afterwards. And from that point onwards, I always knew that that's the job that I wanted to do. So, like I say, I actually became, even at the age of 15, suddenly became quite strategic about the way that where I wanted to go and how I was going to get there. I selected my university undergraduate course because it included a district nursing component. And after my university degree, I did my customary 6 months in acute care, and then I went straight into primary care with a special interest in palliative care. So I guess I'm not sure whether that's an unusual story or not, but I guess that's the reason why I went into it. It stems from personal experience, and I've made it my business since then to actually do this job, which I thoroughly enjoy and love. Okay. I've chosen to pursue higher studies for a couple of reasons. I think that first of all it's around personal development and my personal goals and what I want to do with my life and interests. And I think that in terms of my own professional development and career, I think higher studies is essential. I also think that in terms of nursing leadership, it's really important in palliative care, particularly for nurses who are wanting to build a career, not necessarily in the clinical field as well, to have a more broader experience, including clinical and more academic experience. So that's, I guess, why I think it's not just from a professional point of view, but also from a personal development point of view. The NHMRC TRIP Fellowship is a Translating Research into Practice Fellowship. It is a 2-year fellowship which is through the National Institute of Clinical Studies, which is obviously part of the NHMRC. It has two, parts to it. The first part is that fellows are required to undertake a research study looking at specifically translational research and how to improve the uptake of evidence in practice. The second part of it is a clinical leadership component, and that's around where the fellows follow a curriculum for 2 years and are given skills and knowledge and training to prepare them for roles within leadership within their given health field. The reason I went for the NHMRC TRIP Fellowship, the reason why I applied for it was I felt that there are many areas from my experience where we really do need to think about the uptake of evidence in palliative care. With evidence being such a growing area in palliative care, we need to take it to that step further and looking at how do we translate it and how do we make sure that it gets embedded into clinical practice. And again as well, from the clinical leadership point of view, it's been a hugely important and beneficial for me in my own professional development, and I can certainly see that I'll be using those skills in my career for the next 20 years. CareSearch website is extremely important, I think, and extremely useful for anybody who's undertaking any level of study. I think that even from as a high school student that might be doing a project in palliative care, all the way up to postgraduate doctoral level studies, it's an enormously useful tool. I think even when you look at the undergraduate studies, it's, there's a lot of information on CareSearch. There's a lot of guidance and tells you and directs you to other areas and gives you a lot more information around specific areas in palliative and end-of-life care. And obviously, as far as postgraduate studies go, we've got the palliative care filter and now the heart failure filter into the PubMed searches, but you also have the research data management system, which I think is very useful in study, not just at postgraduate level, but certainly gives you a tool and an option to use the RDMS, the research data management system through CareSearch in your own research studies. So CareSearch, I think, is an absolutely invaluable tool for anybody who's studying anything to do with palliative or end-of-life care. Like I say, from a student in a high school all the way through to doctoral studies. I think something that's really important for nurses in palliative care now is nursing leadership. You know, I have a great passion for developing leadership in nursing. I think that palliative care is grounded in the philosophies of compassion and clinical excellence. But I think that nursing leadership is really, really important. Nurses make up a significant proportion of our workforce, and I think that we really do need to consider how we're going to have a voice and moving forward with palliative and end-of-life care, not just in the clinical arena, but also in an academic and a policy arena as well. And we need good nursing leaders with good palliative care experience to help us to do that. I think we've got certainly we have got a good group of nursing leaders that that we can aspire to be at the moment. I think we need to really hold on to that and make sure as we move forward that we develop our younger nurses and our less experienced nurses to be good leaders in the future.